Welcome back, everyone. Get ready, because today we're diving into a topic that's, well, let's just say it sparked a lot of debate and intrigue, especially in the spiritual community.
Yeah, it can be a bit of a minefield, to be honest.
Exactly. We're talking about twin flames.
Ooh, twin flames. That's a good one.
Definitely a juicy topic. And for this deep dive, we're turning to Astrovibe, a French astrology website, to guide our exploration.
Ooh la la. A little French mystique thrown in.
I know, right? Always adds a certain je ne sais quoi. But before we get too lost in the mystique, let's start with the basics. So for anyone who might be new to this, what exactly are twin flames?
Well, think of it this way. Imagine your soul, your very essence, being split into two way back at the beginning of time.
Okay, like two halves of a whole.
Exactly. And these two halves are destined to reunite to find each other again.
So it's like finding your other half, but on a soul level.
Yeah, you could say that. But it's actually much more than just finding your missing piece. It's about an incredibly intense connection that triggers profound personal growth and even spiritual awakening.
Okay, so it's a lot deeper than just a soulmate connection.
Oh, definitely. It goes way beyond that.
This profound growth idea is intriguing. Could you give an example of how that might play out?
Sure. Imagine someone who's always struggled with commitment, right? They meet their twin flame, and boom, that intense connection forces them to face that fear head on.
Like a mirror reflecting back their deepest fears.
Exactly. And that reflection can be painful, but it can also be the catalyst for breaking free from old patterns and embracing a healthier way of relating.
Wow, that's a powerful example. It sounds like this kind of connection could really shake things up in someone's life.
It can be quite the roller coaster ride, that's for sure. Think intense mirroring, communication that goes beyond words, even a dynamic where one twin chases and the other runs.
Definitely not your typical love story.
Oh, not at all. It challenges a lot of our preconceived notions about love and relationships, but that's what makes it so fascinating.
Okay, so you've got these two soul halves destined to reunite and trigger some serious growth along the way. But where does this whole idea come from?
Well, it's actually rooted in several spiritual traditions.
Oh, really? I'm curious to hear about that.
Yeah, like in Kabbalah, for example, there's this idea that the soul can shatter into sparks of light, and those sparks must eventually reunite to achieve wholeness.
So it's like a cosmic puzzle that needs to be put back together.
In a way, yeah. And in New Age thought, soul splitting is often seen as a deliberate choice for accelerated spiritual evolution.
So whether it's about sparks of light or conscious splitting, the underlying theme is that we're all seeking unity, even if that journey takes lifetimes.
Exactly. And each encounter between twin flames is like a step closer to that ultimate reunion.
That's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
What's even more fascinating is that those encounters aren't just random. They're opportunities to work through inner wounds and evolve on a soul level.
So it's not just about finding the one, it's about becoming the best versions of ourselves through this intense connection.
Exactly. It's about using that connection as a catalyst for growth and transformation.
Now, you mentioned soulmates earlier, and I think it's important to clarify the difference between a soulmate connection and a twin flame connection, because those terms often get used interchangeably.
Yeah, that's a really important distinction.
So how do they differ?
Well, soulmates often bring a sense of stability and harmony. They feel familiar and help us navigate life's challenges.
Like a comfortable companion on the journey.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas twin flames are more like looking into a cosmic mirror, right?
You got it. They reflect back all aspects of ourselves, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
That can be a bit confronting, to say the least.
It definitely can be. It forces us to face those parts of ourselves we've been hiding from, those shadow aspects that we might not want to acknowledge.
There's a quote from Sarah Torsch, a kinesthesiologist, that really captures this. She says, "A soulmate brings you closer to your truth, while a twin flame confronts you with it."
Ooh, I like that.
That's powerful, isn't it? And it highlights just how transformative these connections can be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not always easy, though. Research has actually shown that 68% of people in twin flame relationships report questioning their deep identity.
Wow, that's a much higher percentage than those with soulmates.
It is. It really speaks to the intense self-discovery that comes with these relationships.
Okay, so we've established that twin flame connections are deep, intense, and can lead to some serious soul searching. But what makes them so unique compared to other relationships? What sets them apart?
Well, one of the hallmarks of a twin flame connection is the abundance of synchronicities.
Synchronicities. You mean like those meant-to-be moments?
Exactly. Twin flames often experience an uncanny number of coincidences, shared birthdays, similar life paths, even mirroring life experiences.
It's like the universe is conspiring to bring them together.
Yeah, there's definitely a sense of destiny at play. And then there's that mirroring effect we talked about earlier.
The one where they reflect each other's deepest fears and patterns.
Yes. And it's not just about reflecting negative traits. It can also be about recognizing shared values, passions, and even wounds.
So it's like looking into a soul-level mirror and seeing both the light and the shadow reflected back at you.
Precisely. And then there's the communication aspect. Many twin flames report a near telepathic connection, knowing what the other is thinking or feeling, even when they're miles apart.
Wow, that's stepping into some serious psychic territory.
It can feel that way, for sure.
But these unique characteristics are really just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the twin flame journey.
You're absolutely right. It's often described as a multi-stage process, each with its own set of challenges and transformative lessons.
Okay, I'm hooked. So, what happens when these two soul halves finally meet? What does that initial encounter look like?
Well, it's often described as a powerful revelation, like a sudden jolt to the system.
So it's not your typical love at first sight scenario.
It goes way beyond that. It's like a soul recognition, an undeniable pull towards this person.
And this recognition, does it come with any, like, physical sensations?
It can. People often report feeling a tingling sensation, altered perceptions of time, even a sudden surge in creativity or intuition.
It sounds like the universe is saying, pay attention. This is important.
Right. It's not something you can easily ignore. And after this initial euphoria, we move into what's called the crystallization phase.
Crystallization. What happens during that phase?
Well, this is where reality sets in. Both partners start to see each other's flaws, conflicts arise, and they're forced to confront those shadow selves we talked about.
So it's like all those idealized projections start to crumble, and they have to deal with the real person, flaws, and all.
Exactly. And that can be a painful process, but it's also where the real growth begins.
What would that look like in a real-life scenario? Like, what kind of issues might come up during this phase?
Well, imagine one partner discovering that they have controlling tendencies. Or maybe they realize that their fear of abandonment is pushing the other away.
Oof, that sounds tough. But I guess those realizations, while uncomfortable, can be the catalyst for real change.
Exactly. They're opportunities to heal old wounds and step into a more authentic way of relating. And as those deeper issues surface, it often leads to what's called the dark night of the soul.
Okay, that sounds intense. Dark night of the soul. What exactly does that entail?
Well, it's a stage of intense introspection and shadow work.
So like a deep dive into the depths of your own psyche.
Precisely. Old structures and beliefs crumble, forcing individuals to confront their deepest fears and insecurities.
It sounds like a complete dismantling of the ego.
In a way, yes. And many people describe it as a feeling of their identity dissolving.
But it's important to remember that this breakdown, this dark night, is ultimately a necessary part of the journey.
Absolutely. It paves the way for a powerful spiritual breakthrough. And speaking of journeys, we can't talk about twin flames without mentioning the infamous chaser and runner dynamic.
Oh, yes. The chaser and runner, that's definitely a topic that needs its own deep dive. But for now, can you give us a quick overview of what that dynamic is all about?
Sure. It's basically a pattern where one partner, the chaser, actively seeks closeness and connection, while the other, the runner, pulls away.
So it's like this push and pull dynamic, a constant dance of closeness and distance.
Exactly. And it can create a lot of drama and heartache.
I bet. It sounds like a recipe for emotional turmoil.
It can be, for sure. But there are actually deep psychological reasons for these roles. The chaser might be driven by fear of abandonment, constantly seeking reassurance and trying to fill a void within themselves.
And the runner, are they just afraid of commitment?
Not necessarily. It's often more about feeling overwhelmed by the intensity of the connection and needing space to protect their sense of self.
So it's not about one person being right and the other wrong. It's about understanding the underlying fears and motivations that are driving these behaviors.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that both the chaser and the runner are playing out their own unhealed wounds.
This is getting really interesting. I can't wait to dive deeper into the later stages of this journey and really unpack that chaser and runner dynamic.
You know, all this talk about soul recognition and intense connection makes it sound like, well, a fairy tale romance.
But
it's important to acknowledge that the twin flame journey isn't always, sunshine and roses.
oh, of course. Right. There are going to be some bumps in the road. Anything this powerful is bound to have some challenges.
Exactly. It's not all about blissful reunions and happily ever afters.
So what are some of the potential downsides, the things people should watch out for if they think they might be on this twin flame journey?
Well, one major challenge, and this is something that comes up a lot, is the risk of emotional dependence.
Emotional dependence. Okay, makes sense. I mean, the intensity of this type of connection, it could easily lead to that, right?
It definitely can. The pull is so strong that people can lose sight of their own identities and boundaries. They kind of get,
Lost in the sauce.
yeah, exactly. It becomes less about two whole individuals coming together and more about merging into this almost like a single entity.
So instead of two flames burning brightly side by side, they kind of get like tangled up and
They almost extinguish each other in a way, yeah.
yeah.
It's codependency masquerading as this profound spiritual connection.
And that's not healthy for either person, is it?
Not at all. Instead of supporting each other's growth, they become crutches for each other, relying on the other for validation and fulfillment.
So it's almost like that need for the other person it becomes an obsession almost, right?
It can definitely head in that direction if it's not carefully managed.
Right. So how can people avoid falling into that trap, that codependency trap?
It all starts with self-love, honestly, with the commitment to personal growth outside of the relationship.
So even though the pull towards your twin flame is so strong, it's essential to maintain your own individual identity, your own separate interests.
Exactly. Nurturing those things, having your own support system, and setting healthy boundaries, all that is crucial, even within this intense connection.
Right, because otherwise you're basically saying, I need you to complete me. And that's a recipe for disaster.
Exactly. You can't pour from an empty cup, You
Yeah.
need to be whole and complete within yourself to have a healthy and sustainable relationship.
Whether it's with a twin flame or with anyone else.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that the twin flame connection is a catalyst for growth, but it's not a substitute for doing your own inner work.
Makes sense. So emotional dependence, that's one pitfall. What else should people be aware of?
Well, another potential danger is the risk of misinterpretations. I mean, the whole concept of twin flames is so romanticized.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's easy to get swept up in the idea of finding your other half, your destined soulmate.
Right. And that can make people vulnerable to, well, to excusing toxic behavior.
Toxic behavior. Like they might think that just because someone claims to be their twin flame, that gives them a free pass to act however they want.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that happens more often than you'd think.
Oh, wow. So someone might mistake controlling behavior or even, abusive behavior as part of the twin flame journey. Like, oh, it's just part of the process. It's just us working through our karma.
It's scary how often that kind of thinking pops up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So red flag alert, everyone. Just because someone says they're your twin flame, that doesn't give them the right to treat you poorly.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, a true twin flame connection, while challenging, should never be diminishing or harmful.
Okay, that's a really important point.
Yeah.
So how can people tell the difference? How can they differentiate between those necessary challenges that come with growth and, actions that are just straight up detrimental?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
It all comes down to discernment, to checking in with yourself and asking, does this relationship inspire me to become a better version of myself? Or am I constantly walking on eggshells, questioning my sanity, feeling drained and depleted?
Those are major red flags, regardless of whether someone claims to be your twin flame or not.
Right. Healthy relationships, even twin flame ones, should be based on mutual respect, support, and that shared commitment to evolution. Couldn't have said it better myself. Now, stepping back a bit from the individual level, I think it's interesting to consider how this whole twin flame phenomenon is impacting society as a whole.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely a concept that's gaining more and more traction, isn't it? It's not just this fringe spiritual idea anymore.
Right. It's becoming increasingly mainstream, and I think it reflects a larger societal shift that's happening.
Oh, how so?
Well, on one hand, we live in a world that's becoming increasingly individualistic, right? Where independence is prized.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's all about, doing your own thing, being your own boss, that kind of thing.
Exactly. But at the same time, there's this growing yearning for deeper connection, for something that goes beyond the superficial.
It's like we're caught between wanting to stand on our own 2 feet and craving that soul-stirring connection.
Exactly. And the twin flame concept taps into that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It challenges those traditional notions of love and possession.
So instead of searching for someone to complete us,
it's about recognizing that wholeness comes from within, and the relationship is a catalyst for both individuals to step into their full potential.
okay, that's a really empowering way to look at it. It's not about finding the one. It's about becoming the best version of yourself.
And sharing that journey with someone who mirrors back your growth, your evolution.
Now, this increasing interest in twin flames, it's not just, water cooler talk. It's actually starting to influence therapeutic practices, right?
It is. More and more therapists are incorporating twin flame concepts into their work, especially when it comes to dealing with issues like attachment trauma and intuitive communication.
So, what was once considered this niche spiritual concept is now finding practical applications and helping people navigate their relationships and personal growth.
Exactly. And that, I think, speaks to how deeply this concept resonates with people on a fundamental level.
Now, the article also mentions some pretty intriguing stuff related to spiritual development. Like, it talks about twin flame encounters leading to a heightened vibrational frequency
Yeah, it gets pretty esoteric.
and the healing of, get this, cellular memories. I gotta be honest, those sound pretty abstract to me. Can you break those down for us? What exactly do those things mean?
Sure. So the idea is that these twin flame encounters, they're not just about romantic love. They're actually catalysts for spiritual awakening and accelerated healing.
Okay, so the intensity of the connection itself somehow elevates your, spiritual energy.
That's the general idea.
Hmm.
People report feeling more sensitive to subtle energies. They experience a surge in creativity and intuition. Some even develop psychic abilities.
Whoa, psychic abilities, that's taking it to a whole other level.
It can definitely feel that way. But basically, it's about expanding your consciousness, tapping into a deeper level of awareness.
So it's not just about finding love, it's about, finding yourself, your true self.
Exactly. And that heightened awareness often leads to a dissolving of old karmic patterns, a deeper understanding of one's soul purpose, that kind of thing.
It sounds like the relationship becomes this, fast track for spiritual evolution.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And this healing of cellular memories, what's that about?
Well, it's connected to the mirroring effect we talked about earlier. The idea is that by facing those reflected aspects of ourselves, we can actually unearth and release old traumas.
Okay, so I get how this could work for personal trauma, stuff you've experienced in this lifetime.
Right, but it goes even deeper than that. Some believe that these connections can help heal ancestral traumas as well, things that have been passed down through generations.
Wait, so you're saying that your relationship with your twin flame could actually help heal wounds that your ancestors carried?
Exactly. Pretty wild, right? The article even shares an anecdote about a woman who uncovered an ancestral abuse pattern through her twin flame connection.
Wow, so by healing that trauma, she's not only helping herself, but she's also, in a way, healing her lineage.
Precisely. It highlights the ripple effect that these connections can have, not just on an individual level, but on a generational level as well.
That's incredible. It seems like this twin flame journey, while definitely full of challenges, offers this incredible opportunity for growth, healing, and spiritual expansion unlike anything else.
It's definitely not your average relationship, that's for sure.
No kidding. But we've talked a lot about the challenges and the potential pitfalls. Are there any, strategies, things people can do to navigate this intense journey in a way that's both empowering and healthy?
That's a great question, and one I think we should delve into a bit further.
So much to unpack with this whole twin flame thing, right? It can be a bit overwhelming, to be honest.
It definitely can. There's a lot of, there's a lot of information out there, and it's not always easy to sort through.
Exactly. And that's why we're here, right? To try to make sense of it all. So let's get practical. If someone's listening to this and thinking, okay, this resonates with me, but how do I actually navigate this journey in a healthy way? What advice would you give them?
Well, I think the key is to approach it with a balance of heart and mind.
Okay, so allowing yourself to feel those intense emotions, but also not losing sight of logic and reason.
Exactly. It's about being open to the experience, but also using your discernment to make conscious choices.
Right, because otherwise you can easily get swept away in that whirlwind of, oh, this is my twin flame, we're destined to be together, and you lose sight of everything else.
Exactly. And that's where things can get messy.
Yeah, so it's about finding that sweet spot between surrendering to the connection and also maintaining your own sense of self, your own boundaries.
Exactly. And that takes a lot of self-awareness and emotional maturity.
Definitely not for the faint of heart, this twin flame business.
No, it's not. It's a path of accelerated growth, which can be incredibly challenging, but also incredibly rewarding.
And remember that mirror analogy we talked about? The twin flame connection is like this giant mirror reflecting back all parts of yourself.
The good, the bad, the pretty, the ugly, the whole shebang.
Exactly. So the key is to use that reflection for self-discovery and healing, right? Not to try to change your twin flame or expect them to fix you.
Absolutely. It's about taking responsibility for your own growth, your own evolution.
And that's where the inner work comes in.
Exactly. Therapy, journaling, meditation, whatever resonates with you. It's about using those tools to navigate the emotional ups and downs, understand your patterns, and ultimately heal those deep-seated wounds that are holding you back.
Okay, so inner work is essential. But what about that whole chaser and runner dynamic? Any advice on how to deal with that in a way that doesn't lead to more drama and heartache?
Well, first, it's important to remember that that dynamic is often rooted in unhealed wounds, especially around abandonment and intimacy.
Right, the chaser's clinging, the runner's pulling away. It's a classic pattern.
It is. And the key to shifting that dynamic is to address those fears and insecurities within yourself.
So if you're the chaser, it's about working on your own sense of self-worth, your own security, so you don't feel the need to chase after someone else for validation.
Exactly. And if you're the runner, it's about exploring those fears of intimacy, learning to create healthy boundaries.
It sounds like a delicate dance.
It is. But as both partners do their own inner work, that dynamic naturally starts to shift. There's less push and pull, more balance and harmony.
But even beyond the romantic aspect of it all, isn't this twin flame journey really about something bigger?
Absolutely. It's about expanding your consciousness, aligning with your soul's purpose. It's about tapping into a deeper level of love, both for yourself and for others.
It's like taking those lessons you learned from the relationship and applying them to all areas of your life.
Exactly. It's about becoming the fullest expression of yourself and contributing to the evolution of, well, of love and consciousness on a collective level.
Wow, that's a pretty powerful concept.
It is. And it's a journey that invites us to, to redefine love, to challenge those outdated relationship models.
To create a world where connection is based on authenticity, growth, and that shared commitment to becoming the best versions of ourselves.
Beautifully said. Couldn't have put it better myself.
Yeah. Well, we've covered a lot of ground today. Any final thoughts before we wrap up this deep dive?
Just this. Whether you believe in twin flames or not, the ultimate goal is to live a life filled with love, purpose, and authentic connection.
And who doesn't want that? Well, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us today. It's been a truly enlightening journey.
My pleasure. Always happy to talk about all things love and spirituality.
And to our listeners, keep exploring, keep evolving, and keep those hearts open. Until next time.